It is hard to overlook that even in our current digital age, the competition for a meaningful solution of a real existent Shakespeare authorship riddle still rages on, after centuries of a misguided expertise, difficult to comprehend. Lately, an interesting Baconian video contribution was offered, with 46 quotes relating over the last 200 years Shakespeare's thoughts to Bacon's contextual reflections, causing the video author to recognize Shakespeare equals Bacon. Let us illustrate exemplarily a single of these video quotes to elucidate the stubbornly persistent Bacon issue. The quote selected is from a letter in Holmes' book, entitled The Shakespeare Authorship, by William Furness to Nathaniel Holmes, during the high time of Baconianism. Read and listen.
I am one of the many who have never been able to bring the life of William Shakespeare and the plays of Shakespeare within a planetary space of each other. Are there any two things in the world more incongruous? Had the plays come down to us, anonymously, had the labor of discovering the author been imposed upon after generations, I think we could have found no one of that day, but Francis Bacon to whom to assign the crown.
The plays in fact came down to us, anonymously. More precisely, pseudonymously, the labor of discovering the author imposed upon, after generations, brought us a more logical and plausible author but Francis Bacon, to whom to assign the crown. Only one of these leading contemporary authorship candidates had definitely and strong enough autobiographical motifs to remain in anonymity, to write under an abundance of multiple pseudonymities. But most decisively, he alone possessed the combined absolute singular qualities of a poet genius, of a dramatist genius, and of a universal genius. Only one of these competitors fulfills all decisive criteria. Why Bacon rises again from the statute of limitations? Is it because for the other candidates, insurmountable mental hurdles remained in the way? Marlowe and de Vere died far too early to compete with William Shakespeare from Stratford, who outlived them by 23, respectively 12 years. Be fully aware. A reasonable and logical assumption for a deducible common-sense literary pseudonymity of a dramatist and poet genius can be postulated exclusively for Marlowe. Anyone with a common sense can accept the rational and logical assumption. For an outliving of Marlowe, at the time of his deadly threat, he succeeded, with the support of the crown, to fabricate a fake death, to outlive anonymously, having abandoned identity and name, and from that time on to write under a multiplicity of pseudonyms. For Furness, for Holmes, as well as for the literary world community, up to now, the unsurmountable mental obstacles for the unsolvable bizarre Shakespeare authorship riddle are clearly the untraceable dramatist genius, the untimely death, and his pseudonymities. Conclusion. William Furness' letter symbolizes or exemplifies the persistent absolute dilemma of the insolvability of the Shakespeare authorship problem in the second half of the 19th century. Nathaniel Holmes in his book was not yet able to discover any adequate contemporary anonymous playwright, and he was forced to construct the only remaining thinkable and possible alias of the true Shakespeare, Francis Bacon.